What's going on, guys? So I have another update for you. Just jumped out of the shower, changed my clothes. Actually didn't put my neck knife on yet. I'm actually excited because it's been pouring out lately with all the humidity and stuff. Lots of thunder showers, which is wonderful to listen to. I do love a good thunder shower. However, it just stopped. So I wanted to jump outside while it wasn't too noisy and give you guys an update. So there's a couple things to talk about here. I'm not sure really even where I left off on my last My Life update, but I am definitely moving. I'm kind of in discussion with the bank who owns the house right now, and I'm trying to get some money out of them. There's a thing called cash for keys, where, you know, a bank owns a property, there's people living there, they don't want them there, it costs money and time to evict someone. So sometimes they'll offer you some money, you know, to sign a paper saying you're leaving and get the hell out of there. You know what I mean? They're all about the business. They don't care about, you know, your story, your situation. They just, it's a bank, they have properties, they own them, they need to make money, profit, that whole thing, right? So some guy or lady in an office who just looks at these properties and looks at numbers and just figures that stuff out, right? So I'm trying to work on that. I know I have to leave 100% for sure. That's done. That's definitely happening. And we were able to find a new place. Now, the new place is not ideal, but I will say that I am extremely happy that I've worked on our credit for years and years and years. I have a video on how to improve your credit score. I will tell you that the person who owns the house, he straight up told me, you know, when we went for like an interview, my wife and I went to go meet him and talk about it and stuff. He said, okay, you know, we're interested in you to rent the house. He told me, you know, I had 20 plus applicants. Everyone's looking for homes. And, you know, I picked you because you have a great credit score. It's better than mine. So congratulations on that. That's why we want you to live here. So it's interesting because I actually carry a lot of debt. I carry over $10,000 of debt right now. But it's all through my business name, you know, so it's not on my personal, you know, credit report or anything like that. So it's interesting that in society, a credit score means so much for so many things. And I've talked about this before. You may not care about credit at some point in your life. I definitely didn't when I was younger. How often you get to, you know, buy a house and need a good interest rate, or, you know, buy a car. And to be honest, you know, your credit score is getting more and more important. You know, there's a lot of countries that are moving towards the idea of having a social score, right? That's been something people talk about a whole while, you know, whole lots, excuse me, in the last few years. I hope that's never a thing. I don't even like the idea of a credit score, but the whole point is that when you're asking for trust, right? When you're borrowing money, most times you need a credit score to borrow something, right? Hey bank, I want you to buy me this car. Just trust me, I'll pay you back. They don't know you, you're a stranger. So that number is supposed to tell them, you know, how trustworthy you are. And it doesn't always reflect that. There's people who are extremely untrustworthy and have great credit scores. And there's wonderful people who are super trusting and will never miss a payment, and they have horrible credit scores. But there's got to be some kind of system, right? So that's what they created, this credit score system. At least here in America. If you're not, you know, from America, I don't know how much you know about that. But yeah, so I'll tell you right now, you know, when you're going to get a job, you're going to rent a house, or all these different things, your credit score does matter in some cases. In this specific case, it really, really saved us. I can't stress the importance of that. Had our credit score been horrible, you know, we wouldn't have gotten this place. So I will tell you, and you know, things will happen, like, you know, in a time frame. Over time, you'll get more and more pieces of the puzzle, right? But for now, I can tell you that we definitely have a place that we're looking to rent. Our long-term goal really is to get a mortgage. I know people are discussing how, you know, renting is such a waste of money. You know, everyone has different lifestyles, and some things make sense to other people. I always thought leasing a car was horrible. It's so stupid. Why would you give someone money and at the end of the day, you don't get anything? I know some people have the option to buy. Leasing has a lot of restrictions, like, you know, keeping a certain mileage, all that kind of stuff. So I always thought leasing sucked. But that's how people see my situation with renting. Like, renting sucks. What are you, dumb? Well, that's what I thought about people who lease. But as I grow older and I understand things more, it's important to know that people do have different situations, and what's stupid to one person makes total sense to another person. In our situation, it just doesn't make sense to buy a house right now, especially rushed like this. That absolutely would not happen. But interest rates are ridiculous, and yes, you can maybe refinance down the road or whatever. It's just one of those things. It's just not the time. I don't know where I want to be. You know what I mean? I don't know where we want to establish a life. A lot of times your life revolves around family. It revolves around work. There's lots of cheaper places to live. Why do people paying, $5,000 a month in New York in a crappy hotel or a crappy apartment? Well, because they're prioritizing something else. They want to be in New York. Why? Are they close to family? Do they have a great paying job? You know what I mean? Like, there's a reason behind that. People don't like to pay extra money for nothing. So no matter what your situation is, you can absolutely live a cheaper life somewhere else, but you don't. Why? Because there's always something that's grounding us, something that's keeping us in a certain place. More times than not, it's family. And I prioritize family. I love my family. I love my extended family, my wife's side of the family. All my in-laws are wonderful. And I want to be somewhat close to them. I want to be able to see my family. And that's an important thing. So here's family, a dot on a map. And so you have a radius. What's reasonable? I can't move 8 hours away. You know what I'm saying? So I'll never see family. So a lot of people, either it's family or it's work. Sometimes it's work. Sometimes you have, a six-figure job and you just like doing it or whatever. And so you live a certain place because of your job. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you travel a lot because of your job. Whatever it is. People prioritize things in life. So here's what's most important, and here's where I live because of that. That's a big factor. So yes, as tempting as it is to move out to Tennessee or, North Dakota or Nebraska or some random place that it's way cheaper to live, it doesn't really make sense because I have family. Now, there's plenty of people who don't care about their family or don't really have family or don't interact with their family much, and that's a completely different thing. Then yes, I guess it makes sense. There's a lot of aspects as to why you want to live somewhere. Could be for political reasons. Maybe you want to live in a certain state that, I guess connects better with your political sense, if that makes sense. Maybe it's about climate. A lot of people live certain places strictly because of the climate, especially like senior citizens. They can't be doing the snow and ice and the, 4-foot snowstorms and stuff like that. So what do? They move south, right, where it doesn't snow. Sometimes they're in places that are too hot, senior citizens, so then they have to go somewhere that's cooler. So there's a lot of different reasons why people live where they live. I think a lot of it is just you're born and raised somewhere. There's very few people that just outright just move to a different state for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, if you're born in Kansas, like, you probably spend your life in Kansas. It's different now. If you go back 50 years or 100 years, obviously it's way more probable you're not going to travel. Even going back 100 years from now, think about the people you marry are most likely the people who you grew up with, right? The people around you, because you're not traveling. Now we have the internet. It's, fairly inexpensive to travel by plane or, by train, bus, whatever. So people spread out more. People meet on the internet and they travel to different states, different countries all the time. It's commonplace now. So it's just different, right? But anyway, long story short, the reason I said all that is because I want to tell you I'm still in Pennsylvania. I'm not going to say exactly where yet, but it was important to stay in Pennsylvania and somewhat close so that I can still see my family, and Christina is still reasonable distance to her family. So, what else do I want to talk about? My old landlord. My old landlord, who's no longer my landlord now, shocked the hell out of me. I asked him for the security back, and I had zero hope that it would actually happen, and he did. He gave it to me, which was a massive shock. Maybe he just felt bad. It's funny because I had a kind of, like, I said, hey, is there any chance I'm going to get that security back? And I'm thinking he's going to just ghost me. And he didn't. He said, okay, yeah, no, I'll get paid on Friday. I'll totally help you out. And I'm like, okay, but he's said a lot of stuff before and did not follow through. Friday came and went, nothing. So I thought, oh yeah, okay, just full of it again. And then like Tuesday or so, I talked to him briefly about something else regarding the house or whatever. And he said, and I reminded him like, hey, how about that security? I thought, I got nothing to lose to keep asking this guy. And he sent it. Like, I think maybe he just felt bad. In the end, he might have felt bad. But you know what? That was a saving grace, man. That was very, very helpful. I certainly need it for all kinds of things. I picked up, you can't see it off camera here, but I got a hand truck for moving, a bunch of supplies, so it definitely will help. And it obviously has to go towards the next security. So the only other thing is, because I am moving, I will have a new address, and I will absolutely give you guys the information as soon as I have it. Even though the house is somewhat secured, nothing's final until papers are signed. However, I am going to get a P.O. box. All right, so I will give you P.O. box information ASAP. I have to set it up. I have to do all kinds of things. I mean, I have a laundry list of things to do. And one more thing, as far as the new job situation, I'm not going to discuss that right this second. I will make a future video talking about that kind of stuff. But I will tell you that even though I've been on multiple interviews, nothing's worked out yet. And there's reasons why. And we'll get into that in the future. My battery happens to be dying right here. But yeah, that's all. My ex-landlord shocked the hell out of me. Actually gave me some money, which was nice. You know, definitely moving. And soon, by the way, before the end of summer. And I'll get you guys a new address in the future if you want to send stuff, or especially for trading, things like that. But anyway, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.